Hello everyone and welcome back to 48 Now. I am digital host AJ Wiest, and today I am joined with Mr. Eric Fritz. He is the former Huntsville Track Club President, and he is the Assistant Race Director for this year's Cotton Row Run. Eric, thank you so much for joining in today.
No problem. Thanks for having me. It's good to get the word out.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Can you speak first a little bit about the Cotton Row Run and just what makes the event so great?
The Cotton Row Run is, it's one of the long-standing, it is a community event. We try to bring in we have the marathon, we have other big things where you're trying to bring in a lot of people from out of town. We're not really focused on bringing in all those people from out of town. We're trying to do this for the town and have it be a big party for the town. It's really a big focus on Memorial Day, so there's a large focus on our fallen comrades, those who have served our country and served our community locally as well. So it's just a big hometown, fun, good race.
That's awesome, yeah. So can you talk a little bit about the history and how it got started? I believe this is the 44th annual.
It is the 44th running. We've been doing it for 45 years. We lost a year there in COVID, but it started back in 1980. The track club started in the early 70s as a way to get, there wasn't a lot of opportunities for young track high school kids and things like that to be able to practice and run races, so the track club started up. After that, for a few years, they said, hey, we need to put on a big race. The Cotton Row Run and the Rocket City Marathon were these showcase southern races in Alabama for years, so it's really well known in terms of the history of road running and things like that. And it's really been a great race for both the community and elites over the years. These days, there's so many races, there's so many things going on everywhere. We don't get all the big elites like we used to, but it used to be a really top-notch destination race for elites. I think we've had Olympians here and things like that in the past.
Very cool. That's awesome.
But that's going back maybe the 80s. Yeah.
I feel that. So I see there's a 5K, there's the 1 mile, and then there's the 10K. Can you kind of talk about the different routes that they would be running?
Yeah, the 10K is the showcase race. The 10K has pretty much followed the same course throughout its 45 years. The big thing that everybody talks about is the hill, but it's really a great course. The hill is not even a 1/10 of a mile. I mean, it's super short. But it is steep.
It feels a lot longer,
yes,
I'd imagine.
It does. But the course is really kind of neat in that it's just a slowly uphill course from a runner's perspective. You're climbing for the first half of the race, but then the whole rest of the race, you're cruising downhill and you can really pick up some speed and really roll on into the finish. It runs from downtown Huntsville, right there between Big Spring Park East and the main Big Spring Park on Church Street, heads over to Blossomwood through some nice neighborhoods in Blossomwood, by Maple Hill Cemetery, and then it goes up and it hits that mountain wood, that hill.
Yeah.
Then it hits Bankhead. Cruising down Bankhead is just a beautiful, through the tunnel of trees, nice and pretty.
Good scenic view.
Heading back through 5 Points to Twickenham and Old Town. Really nice course. The 5K, on the other hand, is flat and fast. It's completely the opposite of the 10K. It stays more downtown, kind of loops around downtown, has same start and finish, but it's I don't even know, it's probably got like 20 feet of elevation in the whole thing or something.
Wow.
It's really flat. So it's a good fast course. And the 1K is just a little loop around the block downtown just to get the kids out and have a little fun with the family.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you recommend the 10K or the 5K? Which one's your favorite?
I mean the 10K for sure. The 10K is it's the classic. It's what I would think everybody should come out and run the 10K at least once in their life. It's a good time, but and you get a lot of crowds on all those neighborhoods out through the Blossomwood and those other areas that come out and support. It's a good time.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it builds up the calves too, running up that steep hill.
Oh yes. Yep.
That's awesome. So you were the Huntsville Track Club President for 12 years?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 12 years.
Very cool. How was that experience?
It was good. I mean, the track club's a great organization. It's been around forever. It's 100% all volunteer. So nobody's getting paid to do anything. So we're basically trying to put running out there for everybody and keep it cheap and keep it exciting. But we do some really good things too as well. We're involved. We've got about 24 events a year that we put on. Wow. So there's a lot going on. But most of them are fairly low key. But we do have some. We have, like I said, the Cotton Row. We've got the Rocket City Marathon, and we've got Mountain Mist. Those are probably our three top tier races. But then a lot of other things. Pretty much every distance you want to get out there. We've been struggling lately to get our track meet. It's in our name, and we can't get our track meet to go just because Huntsville's got a lack of quality rubberized tracks throughout the city.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we've been trying to work with that. There's really only all the high schools and everything share Milton Frank Stadium. They don't have their own tracks at their own schools. If they have one, are just asphalt, for practice and things like that. But not really a big racing track that you want to be on. So it's hard to find something. There's only 2 or 3 in town at all, I think, between private schools, and A&M's got one up there.
Yeah. We need some more.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what's the process of joining the track club?
You just go to huntsvilletrackclub.org,
okay.
and there's a link there to become a member. It's cheap. It's like $15 a year for an individual. I think $20 for your family, no matter how big your family is. We got families with 15 members, and you get 10% off all the races. There's 3 or 4 races that are free every year for the members, things like that. And we'll have picnic, and we'll have a get together now and then. We have a couple meetings where there's free food and stuff like that. It's that way worth the money. I mean, it's peanuts for what you get.
That's awesome.
But it's just people who are into running and want to help out running and give back to the sport.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I think I read somewhere you started running at 35 years old.
Yeah. It was about 35, 36 when I think I ran my first race. I actually used to be a volleyball player in my younger years, and that was still going. I actually started running to try and increase my stamina for volleyball, and build up for that. And then after running for a few years and playing volleyball, it's like volleyball is really hard on the body.
Even more so than running.
Yes,
wow.
way more so than running. But now I haven't played volleyball in a lot of years. I think I can't remember the last time I played, and running just kind of took over. Fell in love with it. So now I run everything I can pretty much. Although I'm super slow now and just still going though.
Probably still faster
forward.
than me, honestly. What position in volleyball did you play?
I was more of a generalist, player. I mean, I was not a great setter. I'd sub in for setting if they needed somebody, but in general, I was never great at any one thing, but I could do it all in general.
That's awesome. I know libero, like diving for the balls. That puts a lot of wear and tear on the body. So I was just curious.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Just
back then, all the libero and all those things. I was playing through all those rules when I moved from like the old side out scoring to the rally scoring and the libero. So there was a lot of changes over the years I was playing. I don't even know if there's been more changes going on since then that I don't know, but it's great though. I love that we've got the volleyball courts here. We were pushing for years for sand courts in this town, and we just got the ones at, there's some over at Braun Springs Parks that are some old tennis courts that are, I think there's like maybe 4 or 6 courts there that they just installed when I was kind of getting out of the volleyball world, and now they've got the whole championship courts and everything over there. John Hunt, it's really nice.
Yeah. You got it made.
Yeah,
awesome.
I just like to go watch now.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. What are some of your favorite races that you have ran throughout your career?
Oh, wow. I mean, hands down, the race that probably put me in love with running and I've done every year since 2006 is the Mountain Mist.
Mountain Mist. Yeah.
That race, it will beat you up but it's just, I'm really into trail running. I loved running in the woods. And it's a great race. It's got just about everything in it. And it's tough, and it's a great time. It's a good race. Dink Taylor's done well with that one. But yeah, that's the local race. I mean, in terms of like short stuff, 5K fast stuff, like I think the fastest one, probably the best one in town, it's well supported, and my wife puts it on, would be the Cookie Dash, is another HTC race. It's out at Hampton Cove Middle School and Elementary. Okay. It runs out there through the Hampton Cove neighborhood and kind of finishes on the Greenway. But it's another one that's pancake flat. But it's got, I reviewed that this past year. It's got the fastest times on it by the fastest people in the past 10 years or so, in terms of people dropping, sub 15-minute 5Ks, things like that. So if you're a fast guy, it's a great place to go.
Definitely not me, but that
But flat's good for slow people too.
That's true. That is very true. That's out in my area too, Hampton Cove, the Hayes Nature Preserve.
Yes.
I live out there. I go on the Hayes and go running sometimes at my pace.
Yep.
But
yeah, I just spent a bunch of miles out there last Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember which. But it was, the cicadas right now.
Yes, they're everywhere.
They're on that Greenway. They're deafening out there.
You can hear them too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's honestly kind of frightening sound. It's like kind of scares me a little bit.
Yeah. We live in we actually live downtownish area, 5 Points kind of.
Yeah.
Not far off the Cotton Row course, up the top of the hill. But there's not that many cicadas where we are. But then you go out to Hampton Cove.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah, because I barely hear them at my house. But I was shocked when I went out there. It hurts your ears.
It really does. So what's your favorite thing about the Cotton Row run? Like,
it's just the crowd. I think that we've done a really good thing, and I'll attribute Donna Palumbo, our past race director, for the past 5 or 6 years. She was, it kind of got forced, the hand was forced a little bit, but she took the initiative and moved the race. We used to start and stop next to the Von Braun Center, and we moved it over to the middle of Big Spring Park there, and now just that whole community and that whole party in the park is just a really great atmosphere for the race.
Yeah.
To come hang out and I mean, picnic for the morning, whatever. But yeah, it's a fun time with friends kind of thing. Yeah, it's a great event, and I love all of the pride in America and everything that goes on there. It's a great display.
Yeah.
It's very heart moving and things like that. But yeah, it's just a good time. I enjoy it. The race itself, it's kind of hard. But that's what we like to do sometimes. Push ourselves.
You feel amazing after, I'm sure too. Yeah.
Yep. And there's all kinds of food at the finish line, things like that. Bananas, pizza, and I don't even know what all we have there. There's plenty of it though.
That's awesome. Yeah. Burn off the calories and then get them back.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the way to do it. Well, if there's anything else you'd like to talk about, feel free.
No, I do want, obviously we got to thank the sponsors that are out there. Bill Penny is our title sponsor. They've been so good to us for the past 5 years. And we're looking forward to continuing that with them. We're in discussions of where the future is going to go with them, but they're excited about it. We're excited about it. They've been really good to us. We love Fleet Feet Sports. They're always a big help. It's always good to have your local running store involved. And TOC Sports, TOC, they're a great help as well. They're a great business to work with. So those are probably our top big 3 sponsors there, and we really enjoy that. We've got a bunch of little ones as well, and some other mid-tier ones. It's a good time. We got about 3,000 people registered already. We're probably going to expect about 3,400 or so, because we'll get a few hundred more over the next few days or the next few weeks coming up, and at the expo we get a lot. The expo happens at Bill Penny's dealership over there on University Drive. the loop. Be sure to loop around and come in the back door.
Okay.
Because they block off the entrance on University, but you come in the back
Come
entrance.
in the back,
it's good. Yeah.
the back way.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, we're expecting a good race. We don't have any real significant elites. I think there's a couple elites out there that have posted some recent times that are potential record-breaking times if they could run the same on our course, but I doubt they can because those are probably done on a flat 10K, things like that. So we do have a $5,000 bonus that we give out if they break a record. So
Cool.
we've had
Yeah.
3 of there's four divisions that we have records, male and female, and then the open division, the young people, and the masters division for the over 40. And 3 of the 4 we had to pay out in the past 4 or 5 years. So Donna complained about that a lot. Big hit to her budget.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of them's been sticking around since the early 80s. I think that's the masters female, I believe.
Wow.
That's not been touched. But yeah, we've got some people coming in from all over the country. Even though it's a hometown race, we do get that draw.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Huntsville's a very diverse community. We get a lot of people moving here from other areas. So there's people all over that bring their family. I know my family for years, my parents and everybody, they'd all come into town and run the race that weekend. So it's a good time. And there's something for everybody between the 1 mile, the 5K, and the 10K, and spectating.
Yes.
We love our spectators too, and volunteers. There's always, there's a link on the website for volunteers. It takes an army for sure to get this thing to put on. We
Yes, it
really
does.
appreciate, we appreciate all like the Boy Scout troops and all those kind of people that come and help hand out water. But yeah, there's always need for more there. So.
That's right. Volunteers are great. Yeah,
Yes.
Absolutely. Is there a 10K time that you feel comfortable sharing that is like your pride and joy? You're like, this is my time. Like.
Oh, in terms of
Finishing?
me?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, so this is where I tell you that there's different 10K times.
Yeah.
My best 10K time was like 40 minutes flat. Well, the record here is like 28:30 or something like that.
40 minutes is fast though.
Yeah, that was several years back, 10 years back probably, and that was done in Decatur. Decatur's got the River City 10K over there, which
cool.
is
Yeah.
well known amongst the runners as probably the fastest 10K. There's no way I'm going to run that fast, but I probably ran 42, 43 or something on the Cotton Row course at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been fast-ish, but never a fast guy. I think looking at the seeds right now, in terms we've got Hunter Nails is probably the fastest seeded. I think he's run around a 31 in terms of locals. He lives in Madison. Yeah, and I know Josh Whitehead. He's been fastest local here before. He's running again. But I think he's probably seeding himself more like 32 or 33, something like that. He's a little older. He's pushed into the Masters realm now.
I would just be happy breaking an hour, honestly.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think I can't remember exactly, but in the old days, they used to have it. I think it was in the 80s or the 90s. I can't remember which, but they would have you didn't get the shirt unless you broke an hour or you broke 50 minutes. I can't remember which it was. Something like that. But it was like, yeah, you had to. People prized that shirt back then.
You had to show it off. Yes.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the questions I have for you.
Okay.
But thank you for coming in today. And
Yeah.
for anyone watching at home, come out to the Cotton Row Run on Memorial Day and give Eric a visit. He will be there.
Yep. You'll see me around.
That's right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I greatly